the last two episodes of The Last Dance came out, and what a way to end it. They literally ended on Michael Jordan saying they deserved a shot at the seventh championship that for the 1998 season. And it was just crazy to see. It's just crazy to see how Michael Jordan just said. They all said how all these players were just going away and all that, but he goes, if they wanted Rodman there, he would have stayed. If they wanted Kerr there, they would have said. He said, if they wanted all these other guys, they would have said stayed. He also said, if Scotty wanted to stay, he goes, maybe, he wanted more money and all of that. He goes, but if he knew I was going to stay and kept, go for one more, championship run, he goes, Scotty would have turned around and be like, I can't miss something like this. And you can see how, how sad he was. And the guy that was interviewing him said, with all of that happening, if you could have won a seventh title, how would it feel? And Jordan said it's maddening to know, and and then they just left it at that. And so it's you're just left with was Jordan, he still had stuff in the tank left. He explained at the end the first three titles that he won, he goes, they were got to do with raw talent and all that. He goes, but the last two, especially the last one that he won, he goes, that was all about his mental game, how he used his body, how he played at the moment. And you could just see they could have went on for two more titles. And it was pretty pretty cool to see. Pretty cool to see in the 1997 finals. Pretty cool to see the 1998 finals against Utah Jazz. How they did all the rap around that. And they're saying, Jerry Krause said, doesn't even matter if Phil Jackson won 82 games, unbeaten in that last season, they wouldn't have ever brought him back. Yet at the end, the chairman was like, they actually talked to Phil and they're like, would you give it another chance? But Phil wanted he wanted just some years off before anything drastic changes happen. And actually Phil Jackson, after that 1998 chip, he actually took a year off, and then he went to the LA Lakers, and that's where with Kobe and Shaq, he won 3 more titles with them. And you can just see that was just utter smack that he was saying. Even Michael Jordan had a laugh about it as well at the end. So yeah, that was how it ended up. But it was just great to see. It was great, one of the most things I take away from this is that when Jordan was really hungry, and before Game 5 of the NBA Finals in 1997, Jordan, he wanted pizza. It was 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and he wanted pizza. And they called all these places were closed, room service was closed, but this one pizza shop was open. And they called them, and the guys brought the pizza up, and the guy that opened the door, Jordan's assistant, he had a look at it, and he's like, there was 5 people there, trying to stick their heads in and trying to see if Jordan's there. And he took the pizza and all that. They left, and him and Jordan's best friend, they didn't want to eat the pizza. They're like, we have a bad feeling about it. And Jordan ate the whole pizza. And I think he said about 2:30 in the morning, Jordan calls him, and he's like, I just what's it called? Had food poisoning. He's vomiting, this, that. He felt so bad, and it was actually the game day came around, and he played in the first half. He was shocking. You could just see he was so bad, but just something motivated him. And that game, he came back, with 38 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and they got the W for that Game 5 win in the finals. And that final that he played, he versed Indiana Pacers Reggie Miller's team. Now, Reggie Miller was, at that point, a veteran player, top 10 player in the league. And, and he was just talking about how at the start of Reggie Miller's campaign at 19, I think it was 87. He went against Jordan at how they battled each other. In the first half, Jordan only had 2 points, and Miller had 12. And he was saying, Jordan, like, who you see, like, you're nothing, this, that. And then the next half, Jordan went with like 30 something points, and Miller only got 2 points that second half. And he cracked up laughing, and he goes, that was the last time I ever called him Michael Jordan. He goes, I either called him Jordan, Black Jesus, or the Black Cat. I absolutely loved it. It was just something to hear about that. It's just crazy. And yeah, you just see those last 2 years how much Jordan was actually putting the effort and time, with his teammates as well, and how they all came along and how they won the finals together. It was amazing to see. Though that 98 finals with the Jazz, it was actually that was the Jazz's first time ever coming to the NBA championship finals, and it was just crazy. It was just crazy to watch. You had the Scottie Pippen not going well in some games because of his back, and it was just much anticipation. You have John Stockton. He was great, like leading the assist and all that. It was pretty cool. And you just see, that game, we actually do see, Jordan take his last shot ever. And his last shot ever was hits a game-winning, jump shot from the elbow, which I think it had 5 seconds left on the clock, and he wins the game for them. And it was just just crazy to see just how emotional it really was. And like, you just see someone like how he evolved, coming from from a rookie to like his end, and the stuff that he went through, like with his dad passing away, with all this stuff that was happening throughout his life. And it was just cool to see how Jordan actually overcame how he was with his teammates, how he actually explained, that's what he wanted to do to win, nothing else. It was just a great mini series to see, especially during this time in COVID-19. It just shows him taking on the greats, and how like each year one great would always compliment Jordan, be like, what, I thought I was the best, but you came here, you took over, and now you're the best. It's just stuff like that was happening throughout this mini series. It's just seeing Jordan's drive. It's just seeing him in a different light. Just him laughing around, him talking about it, just him going to 7 championship finals and not losing one, and each final him winning the MVP. You can just see how he grows. Going into his baseball tender. It was pretty cool. So yeah, that was it for the series. Hopefully you guys liked all these every 2 episodes which came out every week. I was talking about them, stuff like that. Hopefully they make more series like this which I can talk about. Thank you for listening, guys. Take care. Bye.